All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. All right, y'all, shout out to one of my followers, MMA Fan for Life. He had brought this up in the live, and like I said, I would do a video on it and kind of give my thoughts on this, of course, because this is the division that's hot right now and everybody's talking about it. So yeah, man, as y'all know, Maycee Barber, she's looking ahead. She's looking to stay active and she wants to finish out the year with one more fight. And she's narrowed it down to 2 fighters. And yeah, we talked about this last night. And Maycee Barber is looking to target Jessica Andrade or Lauren Murphy. I just pulled up this recent article where it just, pulls out, the text where she had mentioned it, just so I can give you all the quotes like usual. But Maycee Barber says she wants Andrade or Lauren Murphy. She says she loves the exciting fights. And, she does want to close this year out with at least one more fight. So she said, we have several names in mind, and it will be interesting to see. I like the Lauren Murphy fight. She's ranked 1 above me. I like the idea of fighting Jessica Andrade. I like the idea of those kind of fights. They're right there in the rankings. It really just depends on what the UFC thinks and what we want to do together. We'll figure it out. All right. So, yeah, she said, I love the exciting fights. If it's a war, if it's a brawl, I love that because it keeps the fans engaged. And you don't get to see females do that very often. You don't get to see that kind of fight. So I'm very honored and excited that I can bring that to the table to myself and to my career and the UFC. All right. So, yeah, this kind of goes back to what I was saying last week or a couple weeks ago after the Amanda Ebos fight. Fighters like her, fighters like Ebos, they like to go in there and put on the action-packed fights, and they like to go to war, and they kind of set the bar. They're setting the bar to show that grit, but at the same time show some improvements in skills, right? So that's what Maycee Barber is looking for. But in this situation here, I kind of disagree with her opponent selections, partially, 50-50, because when it comes down to it, I can understand why she would want Lauren Murphy at this point, but Jessica Andrade, not so much. All right, so looking at her selections, let's start with Jessica Andrade. All right, let's start with why that's not a good opponent. Well, first of all, Jessica Andrade is already booked with a dance partner in Tatiana Suarez later this year, right? Can't remember if that's in August or September. Let me know in the comment section. But we all know Andrade is taking on Suarez next, right? Which is at 115. That's where Andrade needs to be right now. On top of that, Jessica Andrade is really out to prove that she's out to prove that she still has it right now, right? And she's in the weight class where she needs to be. Somewhere where she can get closer to a title shot, because the girls are getting bigger at flyweight, and I don't know if Andrade's strength and power can hang with these girls like Manon, Santos, and Blanchfield. Well, we know it don't hang with Blanchfield, right? So Andrade had to take off, right? And with where she's at right now, facing 2 back-to-back finishes, getting finished 2 times, I think Andrade needs to really change a lot of things. She needs to change a lot of her approach, a lot of her approaches in fights now. So having her mix it up right now, Maycee Barber, a fighter that's growing, a fighter that's big and powerful and a killer, I think that spells disaster again for Jessica Andrade. Well, she's got that coming up against Suarez, right? So let's say if she racked up another L against Suarez, I don't think it would be wise for Maycee Barber to even want that fight. Like, let's say if Maycee Barber is aware Andrade is fighting Suarez, does she still want to fight Andrade if she gets finished by Suarez? No, that wouldn't be wise, because you can't really say that's a legit win at that point. See, at least Aaron might have been taking Jessica Andrade on a short notice, right? She might have been taking her on a short notice, but that was like her biggest test to date, right? That was a big test where she jumped up, from unranked fighters to a top 5 or top 6 at the time. So to me, Blanchfield gets full credit. But if Suarez destroys Andrade and Maycee Barber still wants that fight, and then she destroys it, I couldn't really give credit for Maycee Barber's win over Andrade. So that's a fight she shouldn't want, especially if Barber's not giving Blanchfield full credit. I don't think she should want to take on somebody like Andrade. You can't really build off of that. Lauren Murphy, I did put that in her Who's Next, that I posted the other day on my community post. That one there is a little bit better than Andrade, because it is a full-fledged flyweight, and she is scrappy. And Lauren Murphy does offer some kind of tools, but remember, Lauren Murphy, she got destroyed by Jessica Andrade not that long ago, back in March, right? So really, that's not the best fight. I had to put on that who's next because she is ranked above Maycee Barber. So if you're just going by rankings, yeah, then Lauren Murphy is a name that can be thrown out there, right? So that name doesn't look so good either. Now, if she's looking for a test to make sure that she's contender ready, you want to fight one of these other contenders that at least did a little bit better than Lauren Murphy and Jessica Andrade did against Valentina, right? Because Valentina owns them all. Valentina's, she's the mom to all of them. She's got Murphy, Andrade, Maya, and Chikagan. But Caitlin Chikagan and Jennifer Maya, to me, those are legit tests that can put you in that position to make sure that you are ready, like Santos, Manon, and, Aaron Blanchfield. When it comes down to it, Manon's actually the one that fought both of them. She fought Chikagan and Maya. Even Santos didn't fight any of them. Blanchfield had Andrade, but she hasn't even fought any of them. So really, Manon's the one that passed that test. So Maycee, to me, needs to pass that test. She needs to pass like a Maya or Caitlin Chikagan. Well, I can understand part of it why she doesn't call out Jennifer Maya, because Jennifer Maya is ranked below her now. She's actually ranked above her, so she probably feels like that's more risk and less reward. It would be a tough test that she might lose. At the same time, she's going to lose to a fighter that's ranked below her, so she would be back down at the bottom, right? So, okay, that one I'll give her a pass for, but it is a good fight. Now, the Chikagan fight, that's a good one, though. To me, that's a good fight because that'll prove me wrong, because I still believe Chikagan has the skills and the tools to beat Maycee Barber. But with Maycee Barber improving in every fight, she could possibly go in there and win the fight. Like, I picked Chikagan, but it's a 60-40 fight. It's 60-40 to me. I think 60% Chikagan, she could win the fight, but that's not that far off. Maycee Barber could catch up because, hey, she could go in there, outstrength Caitlin Chikagan, close in, land something big, and hurt her. I don't really think she beats Chikagan on the ground, but she could possibly win on the feet. But it'd be a tough test, be a tough task, because I still would pick Caitlin Chikagan to win. I think she's quicker, and I think, she's better at using her reach than most of the fighters she's fought. So Chikagan would be a good test for her. She makes everybody look, bad in there or like they have an off night. So if she really wants a test, that's the fight. But I see where they're coming from. I see where Maycee Barber is coming from. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd want to see her fight Chikagan, but when it comes down to it, they're this close now to the top 5, the top 3. They're this close to that title eliminator. So Maycee Barber is trying to take that path of least resistance. She's masking with exciting fights. Well, that's true, too. Everybody wants exciting fights. But, if she's that type of fighter that likes exciting fights and she can get finishes that way, those are the better matchups for her, because she's saying exciting fights means zero defense almost, right? Zero defense and all guts. Her opponent's just going to come straight in so she can go in there and finish and then move on, right? Now, if you're taking on a challenge, somebody like Chikagan and Jennifer Maya, they're going to be making her wait. They're going to be making her play chess more, and the pace is going to be slowing down. She's going to have to use that IQ more, and they could possibly win, right? So when it comes down to it, where she stands now, she's looking for exciting fights and a path of least resistance, because, yeah, she's already 5-0 right now. She's racked up 5 wins now. Who is it? She beat Miranda Maverick, Andrea Lee, Montana Del Rosa, Jessica I, and Amanda Ebos, right? Some close, controversial, some she didn't deserve to win, but still, that's 5 in a row. So now, looking for her 6th fight, she's going to want to take the easiest one so she can get close to that title shot, right? And that would be Lauren Murphy or Jessica Andrade. And sure, matchmakers, they do that. I was just watching the Tough House the other day, and it just kind of reminded me, it kind of, clicked in my head again how Dana White was sitting down with the fighters. Of course, he's going to talk to these fighters because they're not signed yet, but the professional fighters, they can't make choices like this. But Dana, he's going to sit down with these fighters, and even he's sitting down with Conor McGregor and Chandler. He's asking them, he's like, which fight do you think is the easiest fight to get you close to that title shot? So he's actually using them key words. What's the easiest fight that you can take? Or what fight would you like? What fight's exciting for you? What's a good matchup for you? He's not saying what's the toughest test or who do you think is the toughest guy. He's asking who's the toughest, but he's not really saying, okay, who do you think is the most skilled that's going to give you trouble or something like that? Who's going to be your biggest challenge, right? He's always saying who's the toughest fighter. It's kind of like what's going to make the exciting fight. So I think Maycee Barber and her team, they're kind of looking at it the same way. They're like, oh, we got this far, so who's going to be the most exciting fight that, you know, could make us really, really good and say this person deserves to be champion, because they're always ready to go out in their shield, and they're always drawing blood, and they're always getting finishes. You know, Maycee's looking for that fighter that, like I said, has zero defense and that's going to come straight at her, like a Lauren Murphy or a Jessica Andrade. But when it comes down to it, you know, Jessica Andrade, we might as well count her out. So if she has to choose now, I think it should be between Katlyn Chookagian and Lauren Murphy. But with her being vocal again and her on this undefeated streak and always coming to perform, just like they did with Jillian Robertson when she called out Tabitha Ricci, I believe that they'll give her the fight she asked for, like Lauren Murphy, by the end of this year. You know, because she did say she wants one more this year. She's had, 2 fights, and she'd like to wrap it up with the 3rd fight. So they might put her on like the November, December card, you know, which would be good for her, because then by next year she'll probably be fighting for a title shot. So who knows if she beats Lauren Murphy, her, Chookagian, Shevchenko winner, or she might be fighting Mignone or something like that somewhere down the line, right? So we'll see, guys. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in that one. Like I said, shout out to MMA Fan for Life. He had just asked me what I thought about Maycee Barber and her particular choosing. Yeah, that's what it is, really. I think it comes down to her not ducking anybody at this point or being scared. I think she's just looking, since she's already on a win streak, she's looking for that fight that's going to keep her sharp. But she's playing chess. You know, she wants to get to that path to the title shot now and not put any more barriers in front or any more like little disruptions, right? She just wants to go in there and say, I got 6 wins and I'm ready now at this point. You know, you see it in boxing sometimes and you see it in MMA too, right? So yeah, I think a Chookagian fight would be better in my opinion, but it looks like they might get Lauren Murphy. Please don't give her Andrade. Please do not give Maycee Barber Andrade at this point, because that will put the cap off on Andrade's career, man. But let me know, guys, what y'all think in the comment section. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.